Good morning, class, and welcome to today's topic on a short story titled The Wind in the Sun. Before we dive into our story, let's quickly review what a short story is. Think of it as a mini adventure that you can read in one setting. It's set in specific time and place, providing context and atmosphere for the events that unfold. Furthermore, let's identify the elements of a short story and discuss what it's all about. Now let's talk about the characters. They're like the actors in a play that wants to make the story come alive with their actions and words. Next up is the setting. Think of it as the background of a painting. It's where and when the story takes place and it helps set the mood for the narrative. Next is the plot. It's like the roadmap of a story. It's the sequence of events that make up the storyline and keep us engaged from beginning to end. Every good story needs conflict, which like the problem that needs to be solved. It's what keeps us hooked and wondering what will happen next. And finally, we have the resolution, which is like the ending of the story where everything comes together. It's where we find out what happened next after all the excitement. So, to recap, the elements of a short story include the plot, characters, setting, conflict, and resolution. Let's start watching the story and we will be having an interactive discussion after, which we need to identify the elements of the story. So
A long
class,
time
listen and
ago, the
understand the
wind
story.
and the sun were just talking when the wind said something strange to the sun. You do know that I am more powerful than you, don't you?
Don't be arrogant, my friend.
But the wind got offended. I am not being arrogant, I am being truthful. If you don't believe me, let's have a competition right now. The sun did not want to compete with his friend, but the wind left him with no choice.
Reluctantly, he agreed. Okay, my friend. Let's have a competition.
Just then, a young man was walking on the road below them. He was wearing a beautiful scarf and a handsome coat. See that man below? Whoever can get the scarf and the coat off him wins.
Okay, wind. You go ahead first.
And so the wind blew at the man. The man's scarf moved a bit and his coat front flapped a little. I was just beginning. I will show the man some more of my power now. Now the wind blew a little more strongly. The man's scarf and coat front started flapping more in the wind. The wind grew fiercer and blew more wildly at him. The man's scarf almost left him, but he caught it and tied it around his neck properly. The wind blew at the man with all his power and anger, but it only made the man wrap his scarf and coat around him more tightly. He started feeling so cold with the wind blowing at him that he wrapped his arms around his legs and sat down by the road. The wind failed to get his scarf and coat off. I have still not lost. If my power and anger couldn't do the job, you surely won't be able to do it either.
Let us see. I think you have frozen the poor man. Maybe he could use some warmth.
And so the sun gently smiled a bit at the man. Immediately, the man started feeling better. He straightened up and the color returned to his cheeks. He got up and started walking his way again. Is that it? Is that all you will do? Smile at him? The sun ignored his friend and smiled at the man a little bit more. The man became more comfortable and walked his way faster.
Watch what happens now.
Now the sun gave the man an even bigger smile. As the sun's smile grew bigger, the man started feeling warmer and warmer. Finally, he could take it no more and started sweating. He slowly took his scarf off. Oh no! At last, the sun's warmth became so much for the man that he took off his coat and flung it aside. The sun had won the competition. I am sorry. I underestimated the effect of gentleness. I thought only power could make things happen in the world, but I was wrong.
Oh, don't worry, my friend. Why don't you blow at him gently so his sweat can vanish?
The wind did so while the sun continued to smile at him lightly. The man went on his way enjoying a pleasant day.
After watching the short story video of the wind and the sun, let's identify the elements of the story. Now, let's meet the main characters of our story, which are the sun, the wind, and the traveler. The sun. The sun is well known for its power, but this story demonstrates the value of kindness and how it can work marvelously for people who think that way. The wind. The wind chose the power and force Ruth to win the competition but quickly learned a crucial lesson. It does not always work out. The traveler became a target for the sun and the wind to see who would win the competition and was exposed to extreme weather conditions. When it comes to the setting of this story, our story typically unfolds in an outdoor environment, such as the countryside road or path where the traveler is walking. It has timeless setting that represent nature and the open landscape where the wind and the sun can exert their influence. The plot of the story, The Wind and the Sun, is about a contest between the wind and the sun to see who is stronger. They challenge each other to make a traveler remove his coat. The wind tries to blow it off but fails. Then the sun warms the traveler who willingly takes off his coat. The moral of the story is kindness is more powerful than force. The conflict arises from the debate between the wind and the sun over who is stronger. This conflict drives the story forward as they engage in a friendly competition to settle their disagreement. The resolution of the story is, in the end, the sun's gentle warmth persuades the traveler to willingly remove his coat, demonstrating that kindness and warmth are more powerful than force and aggression. This resolves the conflict between the wind and the sun, with the sun emerging as the victor. That's the end of our topic for today. I hope you learned something.